Hello. Okay, so I think it's all working now. I gotta do like a sanity check at the beginning of each of these because why not? Um, I hope everyone's doing well. Um, I feels kind of like we're getting into a groove with these, which I'm really excited for. Um, but I've got like our screen set up. I'm like ready to go. Also, I realize this is like a little too high. Actually, I don't want to touch it because I don't want to break it. Um, Happy Wednesday, everybody. We have another exciting day of Pokopia. And while I build a neighborhood, I figured we can just like hang, talk a little bit about sort of where we are in the campaign. And I think we've got, as of tomorrow, 24 days left until the primary. Um, so that's going to be like a whole thing. But yeah, figure I'd come back on here, answer any questions, keep an eye on the chat per usual. And figured I would actually today spend it talking about endorsements because we have been getting a lot of them. And I figured I would like go through and explain like, oh, there we go, we're good. But yeah, I figured I would like spend some time explaining like what are endorsements, why they matter, how they matter, and essentially like sort of how to gauge what each endorsement sort of could be for a candidate. My dude, figure we get started and but feel like everything feels like it is the other very interesting dynamic about all of this. But hi Sky, welcome. I just want to make sure I have like my chats properly. We're usually on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. Hold on, someone's saying what? Wait, what's wrong with it? All right. I'm getting some feedback that my sound is cutting out. Is it still cutting out? Do I need to like move my mic closer to my face? Or is it getting better? This also honestly might be an Instagram problem because Instagram has been giving me a very hard time. So we can pause it for a second. Is it working? I'm curious because I'm not getting any. It looks like TikTok is working, YouTube is working. Instagram might actually be the problem. All right. Did this fix it? Let me know if it fixed it. I'm actually going to pull this out to see if it helps. Okay, great. So TikTok is good. I think Instagram might be the problem. Also, all of these people are freaking out. We can ignore them for a little while because they just built the house and they really want credit for it. Okay, I think this should have fixed the Instagram problem. Potentially. Hopefully. Did it? Anyways, okay. So we're gonna start like kind of going into this. Hopefully it works. But hi, Julian from the Carpenters. We've got him on TikTok. We've got Sky, Rana, Tessa, Abdullah, like so many folks on Instagram. So hopefully it'll get better as we like move into this, but I think it's fixed. Great. Amazing. Okay. So first and foremost, a lot has happened, but it's all good. So, for those who are only recently joining us, I've been doing these live streams. Basically, we play Pokopia and then talk like all things politics, always down to answer y'all's questions. And I think actually one of these, what I'm going to do is I am probably going to, like on the next one, basically fill out my ballot on video with y'all. and just like answer questions about the different offices and what they do and why they matter. But tonight I figured that I would go through and talk a little bit more about like campaigns and particularly endorsements because we've been posting a lot of them and sort of like what endorsements are and what they mean. So for those new here, I was running for governor, so if you join me for that, we're not running for governor anymore. The infrastructure in Georgia just isn't there to sustain a progressive candidate, but I'm running for state senate, so I currently represent about a third of the district. So Berkeley Lake, Duluth, Norcross, and Peachtree Corners, and I'm running for state senate, which will add on Suwanee and Lawrenceville. And because we're in the legislative session, and we'll keep talking about that forever because it was kind of a very crazy session, we could not fundraise, but we've been knocking doors. We've knocked thousands of doors. We need more of y'all to like sign up and volunteer. So now our focus has been keep up the door knocking, try to reach as many voters as possible. That includes everything from door knocking, phone banking, texting, mail, but also fundraising. So that's been like why we're doing these as more like fundraisers now, and also encouraging people to sign up and volunteer. On the flip side, we also have, as a result of the work that we've been doing, even though our opponent has significantly outraised us, like I think he's raised over $200,000, we've raised about 50, unfortunately. But like again, that's in a very short amount of time. We've still received a ton of endorsements, and that is particularly because of how we've been able to run an amazing field apparatus and because we've been showing up for our constituents for a long time and I have a consistent track record. Um, so first and foremost, when I start talking about some of these endorsements, that includes Congressman Hank Johnson, who is our sitting congressman and my congressman, awesome progressive who's been fighting for us in Congress. It includes Senator Sheikh Rahman and Senator Kim Jackson, who are both state senators. And if I win, I would be serving with them. You also have the majority of the Gwinnett delegation. So Gwinnett is my county. And I am the only candidate in my race to receive any endorsements from any Gwinnett officials, which I'm very honored by. That also includes our local, one of our local county commissioners, Commissioner Ben Koo, along with council member Matt Myers and sort of others that we're going to be sort of releasing as we go. And so the reason endorsements matter is these are individuals that have won their elections. They have sort of earned the support of their constituents, and they are saying, I also think this person would do the same and be as good to the constituents as I sort of strive to be, right? It's kind of like essentially a vote of confidence. But the other reason that endorsements matter is that if an organization endorses you, then they are saying that they have resources, whatever resources or infrastructure they have, they're going to spend on you. So today, for example, is Earth Day. And I was really excited that Georgia Conservation Voters has endorsed our campaign because that means that voters know that I am the candidate who is like best on environmental issues, right? Because that's the other signal that endorsements, especially from organizations, give. They're saying that this candidate is the best person. Another really awesome endorsement that we got that I'm posting tomorrow, but they posted today, is Georgia Equality. And that's because I have been on the deputy whip team for the House caucus for all 4 years and helped stop numerous bad bills that have targeted so many of our communities, and in particular our LGBTQ community. The reality is that Republicans don't have any good policies, and so they just they literally pick a different person to hate for that quarter and just hate us, and it's horrible. Like, I grew up Muslim, and I remember all these like anti-Sharia bills, all this other stuff, and they're still happening, and it's like a cycle. One year it's Asian people, one year it's the community member, like the LGBTQ community, one year it's Muslims, and it just like starts all over again. It's a really horrible, pervasive cycle and very useless. So when these organizations endorse, they're saying, we know this person is going to stand up for us and they have our back. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, New American Leaders endorsed us, and the AFL-CIO, the Georgia AFL-CIO, has endorsed our campaign, meaning that labor is basically saying that we are their candidate. And I'm so deeply honored because Georgia literally ranks almost last when it comes to organizing, and we get a 0 out of 100 for right to organize. And it's been amazing to have them like say, yeah, that's the person we want fighting for us in the legislature because she will have our back. And people don't realize this, but Georgia has a minimum wage of $5.15 an hour, and we still have right to work on our books, which means that it's almost impossible to organize. You could be fired for any reason. It's just not great. And in order for us to have any kind of economic equality in Georgia, we're going to have to do it through unions. Um, so let's get started. I have these houses that were built a couple days ago, yesterday. I don't know when the last time I set this up, but I'm trying to set up like a cute little neighborhood, a cute little park. And I figured in the process, I will answer questions and kind of do the way we usually do. But that's sort of like the little um, update on endorsements. And then we saw somebody. Oh, hi, Julian from the Carpenters. Y'all are great. I can't wait to hopefully earn y'all's is like support. And the Carpenters have been one of the, and oh, that's the other thing. So sometimes organizations will also directly donate. So that's where we are. But yeah, let's see what this guy is doing. Oh, hi. Okay, so she goes by Rin on here. But yes, there is going to be a Dungeons and Dragons themed fundraiser coming up. So be on the lookout for that, which I'm very excited for. Very, very excited for. TBH. I'm just gonna move this a little bit. But yeah. Okay, so Amelia is asking, what do I think of Rick Jackson? I see his ads all the time. Yeah, we see his ads all the time, and Rick Jackson is horrible. But like, I think that one of the most under discussed parts about his whole shebang is the guy literally made his money off of us. So he donated to Brian Kemp, he donated to Jeff Duncan, he donated to like all of these people, and and is now saying that he's like going to fight for the little guy, which is frankly absurd because the guy literally made his money off of our tax dollars. And it's not even that like, oh, I hate Rick Jackson because I hate rich people or whatever. Like that's actually really reductive. Rick Jackson is like everything about corruption in our government distilled in one person. He literally had enough money to buy government contracts to make more money, and it was specifically in healthcare. So he like jacked up all of our costs so he can keep like making himself richer while people continue to lack affordable healthcare. And yeah, I think that his whole spiel about how he's there to fight for people is just simply not true. So, let's go. Okay, I think this is the first. I didn't even start with my neighborhood. What even? I feel like this is cheating. Um, anyways. Well, this was kind of anticlimactic. I was kind of hoping that we would like spend an hour before I like reach max. It's fine. I'll stay on here. Hi Paul. Okay, this is now very overwhelming. Oh, hey, I got another leaf house. Yes. Heck yes, because I have been wanting to build a little house or third house. Is this my third house? This is my third house. Okay, so let me just walk you around. Let me show you my vision as I continue to answer questions. But yes, I think Rick Jackson is full of it. Also, this is like a janky house that I made because I wanted that little giraffe person to help me with like gathering things because I have a lot of Pokemon that litter. But okay, so this is gonna be like the city where there's like houses, and these houses fit like 4 Pokemon in them. So I was gonna put 3 in this little section right here, but the problem is I had run out of leaf houses for some reason. Anyway, that's where we are. And then up here, hold on. So up here, I'm kind of making it like a little like shopping center. And then I was thinking of putting in like a fancier looking kind of apartment city type situation. But the nice thing is because it's all walkable, we're also going to put in these like smaller affordable houses. Affordable houses. They don't pay anything to live in these houses. But as you guys can see, I'm like trying to set up these like cute little huts for the smaller Pokemon that don't need as much space, but trying to like move them out of their habitats and into like actual housing. Now, for those of you new here, Pokopia is based off of this idea that all the human, like there were all of these natural so this is a spoiler. So if you want to play the game and actually go through the story, tune out for a second. But the thing about Pokopia is that there were all these natural disasters. So the humans left Earth And I've finished the storyline. I'm so sorry, but I did finish the storyline where the like rocket, you put everything in the rocket and it flies away. It does reach the humans, but obviously they're not back yet. Um, but you as this little character, it's actually a ditto, are working to build different habitats to bring Pokemon because they're being stored in the little system that they have to preserve Pokemon. And so when you build these habitats, like for example, if I build this, so if you click A, these are the details. You need 6 hedges, a seat, and a Chansey plant. Then it'll make this little mystery Pokemon appear, which you won't know what it is. I mean, you know if you've played Pokemon before, but it doesn't like tell you until you get it. Anyway, so this is like our big city park. Like this park, first off, I didn't realize how huge this park was going to be honest, but let me fly. Oh, I can fly now. Hold on, let me show you. This actually might be better. Okay. So as y'all can see, basically it's gonna have like 2 sections. I'm working on also redoing this road, but it's kind of like it becomes sort of more walkable and almost like a nature path here around this like really big park. And the goal is to have these little houses, like see how they have these little huts all around, like make like a giant square essentially. And then up here, like over in this area, I'm trying to decide where I want to put like Onyx and Charmander because on this side is my little like garden, but the problem is it's too humid for Onyx. Like it's just like they don't like the water. So I need to move these Pokemon out and find somewhere that's dry, but as you can see there's so much water in this area. So I'm actually thinking I may actually move them up here where it's like not as humid, but honestly, we're already at like maximum environmental level, so I might as well just like spend it like cleaning the place and like fixing up these roads and stuff instead of worrying too much about it. But okay, got a question about what's your biggest tip for someone who wants to run as a progressive in a deep red county? Be yourself. So that is honestly like the best thing I could tell you because people will absolutely pick up if you're just like lying to them. They will absolutely pick up on it if you're trying to pretend to be something you're not. And they will 100% notice. So I know it sounds like very like hippy dippy or whatever, but truly you have got to be yourself. And oh, hey, I was just you a second ago. Okay, how do I talk? Can you come up here, please? Can you come down here? Yo. Anyway, so running as a progressive, be yourself. Don't just show up and run. Actually, like, I can't. How do I talk to you, bro? Okay, there we go. But like, be yourself, but also make sure that the first time you show up is not to get people's votes. Also, hey, Theron Johnson's on here. Hello. Because if the first time people hear from you is you asking for their votes, you haven't developed any trust. And if all you're doing is basically going to them and saying, this is how you're wrong about your entire life, it's not going to go very well. And I'll give you all an example from, I think it was like near the end of our campaign. I can't remember exactly when it was, but we had come across, or we were on our way back from Stewart Detention Center, and we ran into a guy who was like your very stereotypical looking like redneck dude. Like, I mean, everything you can like think like a stereotype would be about a person, that person probably met it. And it was really funny because me and Representative Eric Bell were kind of fighting about who is going to pay. And the guy was kind of laughing at us and he was like, so where are y'all from? And we're like, oh, like we're state representatives. Like, here's my district. No, I'm not trying to sleep on this. I want to push it. We're state representatives. These are the areas that we represent, blah, blah, blah. And because I was running for governor, I immediately pulled out some lit because we didn't go anywhere without lit. And I said, yeah, and by the way, I'm running for governor. He goes, governor of what? And it was kind of like a cute moment of Georgia. And so he was like kind of reading my lit as he was talking to me, and he saw my thing about data centers, and he immediately starts telling us about how data centers have been sort of a huge problem for him in his community, how disruptive they've been. And it didn't even take much for like him to engage with me. And the thing is, everyone keeps saying, oh, progressives aren't electable. Muslim progressives aren't electable, as we're seeing in places like Michigan, but that's just fundamentally not true. And as we saw with that guy, like, it really didn't take much to get him to engage in conversations with me. And so when people ask me about running as a progressive in a conservative area, be yourself because you're not tied to sort of any one old way of doing politics, but two, make sure the first time you're showing up isn't just to run for office. Amelia Jackson asked if we need a moratorium on data centers. I actually introduced the first statewide data center moratorium in the country. 7 other states have now copied that legislation, and I think Maine is about to pass theirs. I don't think I can hang up a mirror in here. Um, but yeah, 7 other states are about to pass theirs, and I was the first one to introduce it, and it was specifically because of how much we heard about it from literally all over the state. Okay, I'm trying to give this, like, one more decoration, and I can't. Okay, I think I'm gonna go make one. There was also another question. Oh, somebody hi, Giselle. Giselle was asking, "When can I vote for you for the first time?" Primaries are May 19th. Early voting starts April 27th, so, um, if you live in Senate District 7, you can vote for me. And then as for the main one, I don't know if they, like, fully copied our legislation, but we were definitely the first to introduce it. Tessa's asking about my opinion on the Democratic candidates for governor, and, Imma be so real with you. Relax. I'm gonna be so real with you. My current, public position is anybody but Jeff. Sorry to the Jeff Duncan voters out there, but and, like, ooh, I forgot I had this. Hold on. Wait, this is so cute. Wait. Okay, I know what I'm doing with this. So the reason my very public position is like anybody but Jeff is because I actually think he's the weakest candidate of the entire like uh field. I actually don't think he's more electable than other candidates because he used to be a Republican. I actually think he's less electable. We saw this play out during the um 2024 election. People just like if you give people the option between, Coke and Diet Coke, they're gonna prefer the real thing. So I don't like the way this looks. Hold on. All right, I think we're gonna be annoying. Well, if you look at the polling, the strongest candidate is Mike Thurmond, but like in a general election and matchup. But I don't know, y'all. It's been right now, I think for me, I gotta get through my primary. So that's sort of where I'm sitting right now. But that's at least like my thinking on the race is I do think that every candidate has pros and cons, but I genuinely think that Jeff Duncan's cons are way bigger than every other candidate's. Okay, where is this little guy? Let's see if I can use some honey before I destroy their little habitat. Come here, bud. Tamagotchi living the dream. Listen, I can only do basically like one game at a time. So I basically played, well, that's not true because I played Mario Kart and Mario Kart and oh my god, I can't remember what it's called anymore. Y'all, this is how tired I am. Animal Crossing. So, oh, I already played that. Guys, I suck at that game. Do you want to move in here? Yes. Wait, what? But it has 3. Oh, I don't know what more they want. Wait, truly hope I won't what? I missed it. Sorry, Laguna. So my thing right now is every poll I have seen has shown the same 3 people in the top 3 positions: Keisha, Jeff, and Mike. I'm hoping to see different polling soon, but whoa, I didn't realize you were gonna pop in here. There we go. So that's where we're at right now. But yeah, if polling moves in the next week or two, I think that'll shift. But all right, enjoy. So there you go. That's one. There you go, guys. We just gave the little guy his own little home. Okay, so this little habitat. I got you. You're fine. I think I answered all the questions that came up already. Okay, hold on. Is this little habit? Ooh, I should make this one. I think I'm gonna make this one next. But okay, did I get both? Wait, there's a second little fella? Oh. Okay, I guess I'll keep this habitat for a little longer. Okay. Okay, so I need to decide where to put these next, but for right now, I'm just keep them here. And then I need to make another little house for one of these guys. I kind of want to move Magnemite closer to everybody because he's by the ocean, but I also feel like I need to move all the ocean Pokemon out to the ocean, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't know yet. I just got a question about why I think I'm the strongest candidate in my primary, and honestly, thank you for the question because it gives me an opportunity to share a few things. First and foremost, I am the only candidate in my primary with legislative experience, and it's kind of like weird to brag about. Like this is actually like the hardest part about running for office is you have to just like brag about yourself. But truly, like I have been on the deputy whip team for all 4 years that I have been in the legislature, and we have built such an amazing defensive strategy that for the first time ever, we killed 90% of bad bills. 90%. And I think that means a lot. And that was because of the experience that I've been building over time. Additionally, I am the only candidate to have voted in the Public Service Commission races last year, which, by the way, are the races responsible for lowering utility bills. So I don't know how you can run on affordability when you didn't even bother to vote to make life more affordable for people. And on top of that, we are the only campaign endorsed by Gwinnett elected officials. And it's because, again, we are the ones with the most sort of experience here and long lasting presence. And yeah, they didn't even bother to vote. And again, like, I understand that most Georgians did not vote in that race, right? And for example, one of my opponents is like, yeah, I'm this, big voting rights attorney and, voting is like my passion. I'm like, I don't understand how you can say that with a straight face when you didn't even bother to vote in a race that literally intersects both voting and because those were also huge court cases. The reason the PSC elections were the way they were is because it was as a result of like multiple pieces of like, you know, cases that we had to try. And so it was just strange. But yeah. And I, again, only person with legislative experience, but also like I did my master's on the Voting Rights Act. So it's not as if voters have to pick between someone with experience on voting, for example, versus somebody with experience on everything else. No, the nice thing is that voters get everything if they vote for me. And like I said, we have so far been able to secure, I think, the endorsement of every endorsing organization this cycle. So that's been pretty great. Okay, so we put a decoration. We put maybe I think we need something to sit on. Should I make one of these? No. Oh, hey, Jeremiah's on here. Jackie, well, okay, so a couple questions. Somebody asked what my degree was in. I got my master's in public policy from Georgetown because I really wanted to sort of learn quantitative analysis. So that way, when Republicans were gaslighting us about elections, I could actually like fight them with real hard numbers. But somebody asked, was working in politics always in the cards for you? No. And I feel like I kind of, like, I'm sorry if this is repetitive because I feel like a lot of people have already heard the story, but hold on, I gotta block this troll real quick. Y'all are just annoying. So Hi, Onyx. Hold on. I do. Do I want? But I don't want paint. Well, that's very nice of you, but okay. Come here. Come here, bud. Here we go. Oh, shoot. I accidentally ate them. Come here. Okay, so the story about me being in politics is that I wasn't always in politics. I actually, the first campaign I ever volunteered for was the Michelle Nunn Jason Carter campaign. They had a really great student outreach program and they came to my campus and they had asked if we are interested in getting politically engaged. And I remember thinking, I don't know what that is, but sure. And this was before we had, so if you come canvas with us, you don't have to have experience. We will train you, but there's an app called Minivan that we use that will like share with you the list of doors that you're going to go and knock. And before that, we used to, what in the world? Um, we used to have like packets of paper that you fill out and then you turn into the campaign. So I went door knocking and I got so excited and I ran back and I said, "Hey, I really think that if we, expand this statewide, we can turn Georgia blue." Um, and that was the first time anyone ever said bless your heart to me. And I really took that very personally. But I also looked around the room and this was Atlanta and most people did not look like me. In fact, there were not a lot of black folks in that room. And it kind of really opened up my eyes to the possibility of, hey, like, what if we invited more people into this electoral process? And if we did expand the statewide, could we flip the state? And I got really lucky because this was around the time that folks like Stacey Abrams were having these conversations and talking about this kind of work and what it could mean and stuff like that. So um, the rest, as they say, is history. I did mostly volunteer work, but I also worked for organizations like Georgia Muslim Voter Project. But also, in addition to that, frankly, like most of it was sort of, oh shoot, I forgot about that guy. Hold on, where is he? Is he in here again? Is this guy living in the store? Um, but this was around the time that like Stacey Abrams was around, also arguing the same thing about how we need to be actually building infrastructure and building out our coalition. And so it kind of like I did some civil rights work and I went and got my master's in public policy, but my heart was always like anytime I had time off work, right in the evenings or oh boy, I need this guy to come with me so I can move him into his house, but he's like not listening. Oh, I need a cooking stove. Um, but yeah, I kept coming back to it and it became an obsession. And I remember in 2020 in particular, my husband and I had just moved back because, we were always going to move back. And the question was just going to be not if, but essentially when. And we moved back. And I remember um, that was the year that, like, I was also doing policy analysis for Deloitte, which was so funny because I remember telling my colleagues, hey, like, I really think we can flip the Senate. And they were like, haha, very funny. Like, that would require you winning both Senate races in Georgia. And I said, yes, it would. And that's what's going to happen. And like these people just wouldn't believe me. And after a while, we were off for Christmas and I came back and I remember going like, how about them apples, and we were right. And it was part of that just deep belief in me that there's so much more to Georgia. And every year it's proven right. Like the cynics can do whatever they want to do, but the reality is that we continue to outperform time after time after time. So I'm proud of our state. Okay, what am I trading for this? Sorry, I'm trying not to yawn. Ooh. Okay, I think, oh, what's this? That's a decoration. Okay. I'm gonna do this because I can always make some more, but I don't think I can make an antique chandelier. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Some garbage. Yeah. Yeah, so shout out to Cherokee County because y'all remind me of Forsyth so much. I grew up in Forsyth County. I graduated from the same high school as Marjorie Taylor Greene. And that experience, again, like taught me how to build coalitions and how to distinguish between those who are militantly hateful versus those who are just ignorant. And I remember like Forsyth used to be like 10 to 12% Democrat, and now it's so much more than that. So it's like 40%. And Cherokee kind of reminds me of that. Spam is asking if I can spill the tea about AOC and Psycut. I don't really have tea. Sorry. I really mean it. Like, I have been so laser focused on Georgia, and also I do understand truly what it's like to have to make decisions about who to endorse and who not to endorse. Like, and having to decide, like, do I have the infrastructure for it to actually matter, to make a difference? It's it's not as easy as it seems, because the other thing is you don't want to inadvertently extend yourself, and then what is the point of an endorsement if you can't help anybody? And then also, like, I don't know, man. Working in politics really sucks. Like, just from a basic work-life balance and a work environment. I'll go ahead and admit it. I don't, there's got to be a better way to do it. So, do you want to live here, brother? Can you fit? Heck yeah. Okay, I think he fits. Great. Great. Outstanding. Now I gotta demolish this house that isn't really a house. Hold on. I gotta actually figure out the giraffe. Like, oh, sorry. Gotta figure out what our little giraffe friend needs in terms of an environment. Oh, tree shaded fluffy flowers. Do I have any skyline flowers on me? I don't think I do. I think I put them all away. Is that really the only habitat he'll live in? Bro! Okay, let me see if I can just go make her a little den real quick. I'm trying to move her out of here so I can, like, make a little hut. Willie asked if I think Texas can flip blue. Okay, so, like, I've got, like, a couple of opinions on this. Because I remember people being like, Georgia can't flip blue, and I am still salty that people wanted to give to Texas and not us, but also that's, like, not a good enough reason not to support Texas. I don't know. I think that is truly going to be up to, Frank, as silly as it sounds, the people of Texas, and also how much infrastructure they're going to be able to build in such a short amount of time. I will say, just because of the environment and all of the local news and stuff, but also national news and international news, if Texas is going to flip at any time, it's going to be this year. So, like, I'm a believer, and not in a, like, delusional kind of way, but it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take Texans, kind of doing it on their own. Most people are not going to come through for Texas, just like they didn't come through for Georgia until, like, the very end when it's most convenient. All right. I have been waiting for my little, like, Venusaur guy to show up, and I don't know what more he needs. Because I've gotten Bulbasaur and Ivysaur. Sad. Okay. Who am I looking for? Oh, I'm looking for the bee lady. I'm curious if she has a bed for me. There she is. What is she doing over there? Dude, before I gave her a house, she never left. And now that she has a house, she's always never at her house. Do you need flowers? Oh, great. Cool. Gotcha. All right. Also, you can trade honey with her. And what's cool is, and I did not realize this, is that these all have patterns on them, and you can take them back to, there's, like, a guy on Bleak Beach that will, like, learn the patterns, and then you can, like, remake them, and it's really cool, and I love it so much. And I have a lot of honey, so it works out. Um, On Track Politics said, important question. I know you aren't a fan of Israel at all, but do you at least agree the Democratic Party is obsessing with hating Israel instead of focusing on Trump? I'm not really sure if you can describe my position as not a fan of Israel. Israel destroyed my family's life. Like my three of my grandparents have now died without ever seeing their homes again. We lost everything on both sides of my family. So it's not about being a fan or just like a oh, like an intellectual exercise. It had like real consequences for my family that is felt for generations. Oh boy. Oh no. We just banned cell phones in the classroom. I gotta ban cell phones for my little ditto. Anyways, I don't think that the issue right now is obsessiveness about, you know, like is it Israel versus Trump? I actually think that's a false choice. The Trump is the culmination of multiple problems in our system. Much of that is big money and money in politics, but also the military industrial complex that continues to impact all of us. And I'll give you an example. Georgia and Atlanta, in particular, are one of the most surveilled places in the country. We have more cameras per capita than anywhere else in the United States, and I think most of the world. And I mention that because oh, okay. I mention that because surveillance and privacy alone are things that impact everything from reproductive rights to, our organizations being protected. I mean, it really matters. And it's not to be like, and to be clear, it's not that I'm saying everything is Israel's fault. That's absurd because we are a sovereign nation that can make our own decisions. The point I'm making is that, hold on, sorry, one second. I'm trying to find no, they're not in here. But the point I am trying to make is that it is a representation of things that so many people hate about politics. And it makes no sense for our party to continue to treat this as if it's like the exception that everyone's going to have to get over, when in reality, doesn't it make more sense for the party to just listen to literally 90% of its voters? Because again, that's fundamentally that's what's at play here, right? It's the issue around how I'm sorry, why are you in the rain? No, let's put you in a home. Come here. Um, but the issue is like, what does it say that 90% of those who vote for you, donate to you, volunteer for you are saying something and you are telling them no? Then are you really their party? So I think that's where it kind of comes from, because the other piece of this is like let's take, and here's another like, and I think like this will really hone it in for a lot of people, because somebody asked me this the other day too. They said, it kind of does seem like we are obsessed with this. So let's take Cory Booker as an example. Cory Booker the other day was in Michigan, where he basically started yelling at all of to a room full of people, being like, you guys are the reason we have Trump. You guys, you didn't vote for a candidate because you disagreed with her on 10% of things, which first and foremost, most voters didn't vote. It's not like they voted for Trump either. We lost, for every one Trump 2020 voter we won, we lost four of our own, three of them to the couch. So like fundamentally that's where we're at. But like the reason I bring up Cory Booker is, I don't know if y'all remember, because so many things have happened, but back in the day, or not back in the day, it was like a few months back, he had done this like historic filibuster, like broke the record for the longest filibuster, and everybody was like so excited about it and all this other stuff. And then he immediately, like no joke, as soon as he stopped talking, went and voted for Trump's nominee. Like one of Trump's most corrupt picks too, which is like saying something, right? And so like that goes hand in hand. If you are willing to sell out, especially when it comes, who the hell? Sorry, one second. What? Who is this? Hold on. I'm sorry. Give me just one. Who are you? Whoa. Creepy. So I think, yeah, like I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it is part of fighting Trump. You cannot fight Trump if you sell out, because those same Democrats are the ones who are selling us out. By the way, the majority of Democrats, who a lot of them were in safe seats, like we're talking about like plus 40, 50 Democratic seats, voted for the Laken Riley Act. And those same Democrats, by the way, have an almost one-to-one overlap with APAC Democrats. And so when we talk about like what do we care about as Democrats and all this kind of stuff, it's actually one and the same. So, all right, I want this guy to learn my patterns. Also, didn't I just move you in a house? Does he just learn all my patterns at once? Okay. Let me see, actually. Cecilia asked if I'm speaking at any events this week. Yes. So actually, one of our volunteers, Lexi, is hosting an event called Do You Duluth. So I'm really, really, really excited for that. And hold on. How do I tell it to give me a pattern? Hold up. Sorry, one sec. Ooh. Whoa. Hold on. I haven't actually gotten a chance to pick any of these patterns before. Wait, that's so cool. Okay, I'm gonna make this for my little chef guy. Hold on, give me 1 second, and then I'll answer it. But yes, so tomorrow I'll be at Duluth Library, and then we launch campuses every weekend, Saturdays at 10, 10 and 2, and then Sundays at 2. So you can always come to those. Also, why does this not count as a speech? I feel like this should count as a speech, you know? Anyways, I think this is good. I'm gonna make this request. Yes. Hi, Ruben. Okay, Popney just asked if I think Ossoff is gonna run for president. I don't know. Also, I'm kind of like over Georgia being like nothing more than like a vote and a stop for the rest of the country. Like, come on, y'all. We deserve to have our own. Wait, I can paint these? Okay, now I gotta think about how I want to paint my house. Bro. Okay, this is gonna be a long-term project. But yeah, I'm currently remodeling the kitchen in my house like I'm a old lady. Can I do a pattern? What is this? No? Okay. Unuseful to me. Okay, this is actually kind of pretty, but also I think I'm going to make him a little matching thingy. I don't even know why I'm wasting my paint on this right now. I don't have this much paint. Steven, I know, I'm sorry. But on the bright side, we're still building infrastructure for our state. So, whoops. Yes. This is actually a really good comment. I think that's why you're starting to hear the distinction between general Democrats and progressives, because not all are truly progressive. But like, here's the other thing to this. This is why I think endorsements are good, because, you know, a lot of people don't have time to figure out like, you know, who's what and who believes what. And organizations are a good place to like hear from, and they can help you navigate a lot of that. Okay, I did all of this. We're done. Thank you, dude. Wait, did he paint my stuff? Let me just double. Oh, no, actually, sorry. Come back. Ruben just asked what I do when the house is not in session. So unless you are independently wealthy, a lot of us have jobs, so we tend to focus on that. And so yeah, I work, and then obviously because it's campaign season, I'm campaigning. And then going back to what I was saying earlier about Ossoff, like my point is that Georgia deserves to have good representation that isn't just, you know, everyone's like next stop on whatever road they're taking. And again, love y'all. And our country deserves better, and our country deserves the best, but so do we. This is fun. Okay, I'm done. I'm getting distracted. I need to go finish like setting up those little houses so I can move people out and start like breaking things down. People, Pokemon, whatever. So yeah, that's my point there. Oh my god, y'all, my run statewide was out of desperation because I wanted to show people that there was real excitement in our state and that it was worth investing. Oh, nope, 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 but it's raining. Um, like real, excitement for our state. And I'm just sad to see that people didn't see that. So, RIP. Okay, what can I let go of while I'm here? I'm just gonna eat this. Why not? Hey, Marion, how you doing? All right, I'm gonna put this back. Wasn't there like another hole around here somewhere? I could just, yep, there it is. There, I can get rid of that. Oh, also, just want to say that on track politics, I didn't think your question was rude at all. I was just trying to like explain why I had like the response that I did. So okay, hold on one second. Let me put this back because I don't need this. But speaking of Earth Day and endorsements, the other thing I wanted to say, and thank you for the reminder, is to please keep folks in South Georgia in your prayers. We are actually in a drought in Georgia, and like nobody wants to talk about it. And what's absolutely crazy is that we have been warning for a long time that, hey, we don't have enough water, for example, for these data centers, and they're like not listening to us. So it's been deeply, deeply tragic. Like Georgia has been essentially in drought conditions for a while now. Also, fun fact about this guy, you can make a little cannon and then shoot him out of it. I haven't done it before, but it sounds fun. But seriously, like it's infuriating. Like we give more in tax breaks for data centers than we do. Why are you following me? Fine. You guys, I suck at playing jump rope with this guy. But yeah, we give more in tax breaks to data centers than we do on spending for food stamps. Okay, I'll play with you. He gave me a carrot. Now I gotta play with him. Come here. Okay, you'll see. I'm really, really bad at this game. I swear it looks... Oh, wait, I think I might have figured it out. Oh. What the hell? You're supposed to warn me, bub. Okay, now it's getting faster. Wait, I think this is the... Now I'm stressed. Holy grip. I don't like this. Hold on. I will answer your questions in a second. I can't look away. This is the most I've ever jumped. Oh, shoot. Okay, yeah. Now this is really stressful. I think the most I've ever done is like 4. So you guys are all a really great good luck charm. On Track Politics says about moderate Dems, to be fair, in swing states, Democrats need to be moderate if they want to be elected in the United States Senate. That's actually not true. Ossoff and Warnock are not moderates. I was there for so many... Wait, why am I getting all this stuff? Wait, what? Bro, hold on. I've never gotten this much stuff. What is happening? No. Anyways, it's fine. But I will say, like, I remember going to multiple of their speeches and multiple of their events, and Warnock would talk about things like student loan forgiveness and I just this whole like you have to be, and the thing that I've asked people a lot, and there was a really great video that I've shared a couple of times now where somebody actually breaks down this sort of idea of what it means to be moderate, right? And Democrats seem to the moderate Dems, like think of it as an XY axis, right? And on this side you have all of the economic issues from like free market to economic populism, right? And then on the x-axis you have, social conservatism to social progressivism. And oftentimes, Democrats feel the need to sit in this like weird space that most voters are not in, which is both social and economic conservatism. And that's just like not a thing. Um, so yeah, I'm building a kitchen. Hold on. Do I want I just distracted myself again. But the point I'm trying to make is that most voters actually sit on